Alright YouTube, what's up? It's the legendary K2 back again for another video, and today I'm going to be looking at my PC Engine hardware collection. I got a lot of PC Engine stuff, so thought I'd split this video up into a couple of parts. Later in the next videos I might go over my Hue card or my turbo chip collection, and then after that get into the Super CDs. But I'd like to just start here. I got this fancy XE-1 Pro joystick, and I got this of a seller in Hong Kong. This is pretty hard to find, and it's pretty nifty. That's the word I would use, nifty joystick. It's got a lot of different options here. Let's bring it up so you can maybe see. Okay, it's got a multi-gate joystick. Now when I got this thing, you can kind of see a little bit of rust right down there. It was in terrible shape. I took the whole thing apart, greased it, did whatever I could. So the condition of this, while it looks on the surface not bad, it's a little loose in places. But just to show you this multi-gate, you see down here there's an 8 and up here is a 4, and you push down here and it kind of changes the gate on the joystick, so you can have an 8-way directional or a 4-way like square gate, basically up, down, left, right. So keep it on the square gate for now. And then it's also got, over on trigger 1 and trigger 2, you can change the placement of these, so you can play really anywhere you want. And then down here, you're not going to be able to see, but it has different turbo switches for each. You can have all the way up as trigger auto hold, trigger auto, trigger manual. You have that for both 1 and 2 button. And then up here you've got a little dial that dials up the trigger speed, and then for 2 rather, this is trigger speed for 1. And it's also got a really sweet trigger speed indicator. So depending on how fast you set the trigger speed, these lights will light up at a higher and higher frequency. So when it's all the way up, these things are just going like that. And then, you know, you set it down here, whether you want it to just like hold down pressing A billion times a second, or you know, or trigger manual. So it's pretty sweet. Now there's two different, from what I know, there's two different XE-1s. This is the Pro model versus the standard, and what the Pro model gives you is on the side, you can see it's just a little bit rusty down there. Like I said, this was in terrible shape. I got it from a seller in Hong Kong, and as you'll see further in this video, I try not to deal with Hong Kong sellers that much these days, but it's got a multi-tap on the side, so you could just line up your 4 different players and play you know, Bomberman or Dungeon Explorer 5-player, so it's pretty nifty. Alright, enough of that. I'll show you the bottom really quick. You can see it had the warranty sticker, and I had to punch a hole in this nice sticker here, but it was unplayable the way it was shipped to me, but now it works great. A lot of silly little parts inside of that thing. Okay, moving on. This is the PC Engine CD-ROM 2 system briefcase unit. This is all the interface unit, and it's got a handle so you can just pick it up on the go, and over here you can see it's got little latches to open, so I'll just open that up. Ooh, hey, look at that, I got Street Fighter 2 in there, I didn't realize that. So this is the first PC Engine unit that I've got. I've only got, you know, the 2, but I got this thing Here, you can see this ejects the units, so I'll just pull that forward and they pop out like that. So just a quick look at my PC Engine. It's original model. It's got RF out, no component, I'm sorry, composite out. Regular old Nintendo power supply will work for you there. And complete ones, there's an orange tab that goes over this, and I got that somewhere, but you take it off to put it in the interface unit to work with a CD. But my cousin was an exchange student in Japan, and I what do you call it? I sent her money basically, and sent her on a trip to Super Potato. So this PC Engine came from Super Potato, so that's kind of cool. And one thing that she did is she brought back Gate of Thunder on CD because it looked cool. I told her to buy stuff that looked cool. I gave her a list, but she bought stuff that looked cool. Sure enough, she comes back with Gate of Thunder, which is a Super CD-ROM game. So it wasn't long before I went out on a lookout for a CD unit. Now, I did this the hard way, the really hard way, in that I bought the interface unit separate, right, which worked, but it's a risk because you don't know if it's going to work. And I bought this from the cheapest place I could find, which was Hong Kong. It's a little yellowed, and anybody who's seen Luke Morse's videos knows that there's a little gear inside that breaks all the time, and basically 95% of these that you see loose, the way I did, come broken. In my case, the gear inside was fine, but a tiny little ribbon cable was torn. So I didn't buy it off of eBay either. I bought it off of a website. So I had to email back and forth with Hong Kong, send this back. They replaced the ribbon cable and sent it back, thankfully. I mean, that was nice of this guy to do, but it was like pulling teeth. So if you're just getting into PC Engine, I don't really recommend going with the suitcase unit because it's hard to find in good shape, in good working order. And even if you do, how long is it going to last? These are the most finicky units you can have. They look really awesome, but they're extremely unreliable. So anyways, that's what I got for this unit. And anybody just looking to pick up, there's so many great cue card games, just card only games, that and these white PC Engine units are good enough, and the RF out is surprisingly good. I know that's kind of an oxymoron, but it's true. I thought it was a lot better quality than the RF out on, say, like a NES. So I was so fed up with sending my CD unit back and forth to Hong Kong, and I hit up eBay with a little bit of anger behind me, and I just bought outright a Turbo PC Engine Duo RX. And one thing about the RX is this is the last model, as far as I know, that they made of the just all-in-one Duo systems. And because of that, they're newer, and the parts they use on the internals are said to be a little bit more reliable. So this was an all-working unit. I paid, a premium for it. Shipping was bad. Everything just paid through the nose for this thing. But this is what I play all my PC Engine stuff on. You can see in this flap here, that's where the Hue card goes in. And then over here is the CD section. See, I got Winds of Thunder, or Lords of Thunder as it's known in the US, and they're a great CD-ROM game. And this plays great. On the back, it's got kind of a big AV out. I don't think this looks like the Model 1 Genesis / Master System AV out. I don't think they work exactly the same. I could be wrong about that, but you might want to double check that. And the power plug is on the back of the unit, which I think if I'm not mistaken, is actually unique to this Duo RX, because as you saw the old white PC engine, usually the power output's always kind of trailing out the side, which can get a little annoying if it's in your wall system kind of next to another console. Yeah, and it's got the one controller port. No Jesus, not one controller port. Alright, moving on, just really quickly show you my different controllers. These are the first model PC Engine controller, and they're really fine controllers. I mean, they're really great. The buttons are hyper responsive, like compared to an NES controller. A lot of people love the NES controller, me included, but the buttons have a good responsiveness to them, and the D-pad is super responsive too. A little easier. It's got, you know, almost like a Genesis D-pad, close to that, where you got little diagonal divot there. It's great for shoot 'em ups, great for shooters. Of course, that's primarily what's on the PC Engine, so good on you there. So I've got two of these, and the model number up here, it says NEC PI-PD001. Same with this one. So I got a matching set for my white PC Engine. And then over here, after a while, they instituted turbo switches because of all the running, well, all the shooters on the system. So you can see up here they've got switch to max auto fire, single shot, you know, kind of stock setting. And again, the buttons are so awesome, and the D-pad is great too. This is NEC PI-PD002. So this is the second revision, or first revision. And moving on, this is a little later on. This is what came with the Core Graphics 2, which is kind of an AV PC engine. It's gray and orange, one that I really want to get just for playing card games. I think the black and orange, or dark gray and orange, looks really great, and this is the controller I went with that. I was just looking for another turbo-enabled PC Engine controller, so I picked this one up for cheap, and someday I'll have a Core Graphics 2 to match it with. Okay, moving on. 5-player multi-tap. It is what it is. It's a little yellowed. A lot of this PC Engine stuff comes yellowed, so I'm gonna try and work out a little retro bright experiment later on. And one thing to note is that PC Engine cords suffer from a lot of Japanese cord issues in that they're really short. I mean, you gotta sit cross-legged right in front of the PC Engine to play. So one thing you can do for cheap is to get a extension cable. Official ones go for a lot of money, but you can get this one, and I wrote it down. It's actually called a mini DIN 8-pin male-female connector, and it's, I guess, was primarily used on old Macintoshes, but I know I got this from Monoprice, a company called Monoprice, and this shipped was less than $5, so a lot better than eBay. And one last thing, you know, I showed you the XE-1 Pro, but what I use is this PlayStation Namco stick. This is a great stick. This is like one of the favorite sticks I have, and Tototech makes a Joypad converter for the PC Engine. So that's really great. You find these guys, Tototech, on Google them, and you can get this for about $15, and it makes your Namco stick into a kick-ass PC Engine arcade stick. And it doesn't have 6-button compatibility, which is kind of, you know, the way they map the buttons in the converter could have been better, but the way it works out on this is that select and start is, you know, select and run, and then this is 2, this is 1, this is turbo fire 2, turbo fire 1.